15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-960-3377. That's 800-960-3377. 800-960-3377.
Celebrating soccer in the RVA since 1993, the Richmond Kickers are getting ready for another great season. Reserve your 2026 season tickets and group outings dates now and be a part of the Red Army. Sign up to become a City Stadium Plus member for discounts on game tickets and Kickers gear. To find out more about the 2026 Richmond Kickers home dates, reserve tickets, or check out the latest team news, visit us online at richmondkickers.com, and we'll see you at City Stadium.
If you're feeling tired, unmotivated, or struggling to build muscle, I've been there. But 2026 is my year, and it's all thanks to Game Day Men's Health right here in Richmond. Since starting treatment at Game Day, I'm hitting my goals. I'm down about 20 pounds in 2 months, and I'm honestly in the best shape I've been in years. They focus on the things that matter: testosterone optimization, weight loss, ED treatments, and peptide therapy. And with nearly 500 five-star reviews, they are Richmond's highest-rated provider for a reason. Schedule a complimentary visit right now at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. Richmond, it's time to get your morning going. Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick.
Start here live from the capital of the Commonwealth,
where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now, live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz the Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Monday morning, February 16th. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us with Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. Also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. As always, if you want to watch the stream, just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop up and you can watch it. You can be part of it by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And of course, you can be part of the show the old-fashioned way by calling or texting in to the Radkey Insurance phone line, 804-327-0888. And for the first weekend in a long time, we didn't have any football action. However, we had plenty of NBA All-Star Game action and plenty of NASCAR action with the Daytona 500. And something that I came away thinking this weekend is there's a pretty massive similarity between the NBA and NASCAR. And it's not often that there is such a huge similarity between those two sports, but it was on full display yesterday following the conclusion of the Daytona 500, following the conclusion of the All-Star Weekend festivities. The question those fan bases always have is, why isn't our sport growing? And honestly, I really think you only have to look so far to get that answer. And in the case of the NBA, you only have to look as far as the sidelines. In the case of NASCAR, you just look up to the grandstands. It's the fans. The fans are some of the biggest complainers I have ever seen. For all intents and purposes, yesterday, we got a very, very good NBA quotations all-star game, right? Adam Silver in Secaucus, New Jersey, did something massively drastic for this year's NBA All-Star game. They entirely overhauled the entire thing. They made a team of stars, a team of stripes, and a team of world. Team stars featured young American stars. Team stripes featured veteran stars, and Team World featured stars from other countries. Naturally, it got people to compete, kind of similar to what the NHL did last season with the Four Nations face-off. It was 12-minute games, round-robin style, and at the end, Team Stars beat Team Stripes in the All-Star Championship game. Anthony Edwards, he had an MVP performance, 32 points. You don't just do that by not caring. He had 32 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. This was Anthony Edwards following his MVP performance of the All-Star game.
It was. I'm not going to lie. It was. The juices was flowing today. I mean, just, of course, going against the world and Wemby, and then going against the old guy. It was just, everything I was looking for. I was just trying to show everybody, what I can do, because a lot of people, they might not watch Minnesota. They might see a couple dunks and stuff, but I really can, play basketball.
It's a 1-year sample, but early returns indicate that this drove more competition. You heard it from Anthony Edwards there, which is what people wanted. And for the most part, the media seemed to be bought in. Even Big Kendrick Perkins said he loved it. But social media and the fans seem torn on it, which is mind-boggling to me. Now we go over to NASCAR, where we were handed a fantastic finish in the Daytona 500. Tyler Reddick came out of nowhere on the last lap to win the race amid crashes and carnage. Reddick edged out Chase Elliott to win the Daytona 500, his first win at the race. And oh, by the way, Reddick is now just the 4th guy ever to win the race while leading just 1 lap, the final lap. And oh, by the way, in the backdrop of it all, Tyler Reddick drives for 2311. 2311 just went through its huge lawsuit in the offseason against NASCAR. They came to the settlement, and now 2311 wins NASCAR's biggest race. So many fantastic storylines, such an amazing race. But the conversations afterwards is about how NASCAR just isn't what it used to be, about how fuel saving in the 3rd stage of the race just ruined the product, how this used to be better. That is bad today. How NASCAR nowadays is just running laps off until the final 10 when things actually start happening. And I push back massively because I thought that it was an extremely entertaining race last night. There was a ton of strategy involved, The big characters were part of it for most of the race. Some surprise guys were up near the front until the very end. And the last lap was absolute cinema. But the conversation after a moment that I believe should have been celebrated for the sport has been hijacked in both cases, both the NASCAR fans and the NBA fans. What should be celebrated for the sport, they fixed the All-Star game, seemingly fixed the All-Star game. The Daytona 500 had an electric finish. Both have been hijacked by miserable fans to complain that the sport isn't perfect and that NASCAR and NBA will never grow. This is now, I don't think NASCAR and NBA will ever grow as long as a loud base of the fans continue to spew negativity into the void on social media elsewhere. For the NBA, it's about how players don't try, don't care. And then when they do, it's not good enough. Or they get clowned for trying in the regular season, being called a tryhard. In the NASCAR, the racing will never be like it was in the, quote, good old days. And as long as we have that driving conversation, the sports will continue to be stagnant or even begin to lose market share. Now, one thing I can't agree on, and Alan, you probably agree on this as well, the dunk contest was terrible. The dunk contest was absolutely abysmal. So you can complain about that.
Well,
but the All-Star game,
the All-Star game isn't back until the dunk contest comes back.
That's All-Star weekend, though. That's All-Star
weekend. It doesn't matter. The whole weekend, the whole
dunk contest was horrible. Yeah. Bring back Mac. Give him whatever he wants.
It would be like a terrible home run derby. I know it's not the actual game itself, but that's pretty much what we're here for.
But look, they fixed the All-Star game.
Well, yeah, no, they fixed the All-Star. I was pleasantly surprised and entertained. However, I will say I think it's a shame that it had to be led by one of the younger players to get people motivated to actually play. Because the guys who are our veterans should be the leaders. They should be the ones that should have been like, yeah, I want to put these guys in their place type stuff. Like, I just think I just think the energy should have came from the vets, the old heads.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It didn't. It came from a young guy. Exactly. That's pretty cool.
That's why I'm happy to get rid of this generation and go to the next.
There we go.
Yep.
I mean, there are some players of this generation that KD's one of them, and we'll get to KD.
Yeah, bring on Wemby, man.
Wemby and Anthony Edwards going at it was so much fun.
Absolute heroes.
They are the guys that will try to push this league into its next era, and they've got a lot of work to do. All-Star game was a great step forward. We got a text in about the Daytona 500. Tyler Reddick looked like Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder, like he shifted into another gear that the other cars didn't have. One,
it's the Jordan effect.
10 out of 10 mention of Days of Thunder. That is the best Tom Cruise movie, and it's not particularly close. And secondly, I don't know what it was on that last lap, but Reddick just hit the draft so well, was flying around. On the last lap, he goes high to make a pass, and then like only a move you make in a video game where you're high, you can't make it, so you dive low. He was everywhere on the track on that last lap. He was wheeling and dealing for it, which is really cool to see because in NASCAR this year, they've changed how the points work. So a win does not automatically qualify you for the playoffs. What qualifies you is your season-long point standing. They're going back to how they did it in the early 2000s with the chase for the cup. And so Reddick made some aggressive moves late to try and win the Daytona 500. If he had crashed, that blows up his day. He could have played conservative, settled for a top 5 finish, and then go on from there and get your points. But instead, he played it extremely aggressive to try and get the win, and he came out on the plus side of it. Really, really aggressive stuff from Tyler Reddick in a spot that we may not see as much aggression as this season goes on because you're racing for points, not wins now with this new setup, or I guess it's not really the new setup of points. The going back to the old setup of points, the chase for the cup setup. All right, today we've got no guests. We just want to hear from you. 804-327-0888. Call or text in to the Radke Insurance phone line. Head to radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today. Let's update you with some other things that have happened around the wide world of sports.
This is your Fitz the Bill morning update. Getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
Yesterday, Tyler Reddick won the Great American Race. Reddick led only one lap of the Daytona 500, but it was the only one that mattered, the last one. This is what it sounded like on Fox yesterday.
NASCAR champion, most popular driver, trying for the win, and Reddick to the top side. He's got help. Riley Herbst, his teammate. Reddick drops to the bottom. Alongside Elliott, in the wall goes Herbst, and Tyler Reddick comes to the line. A shower of sparks behind him. Unbelievable.
Over in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks are expected to hire San Francisco 49ers tight ends coach and run game coordinator Brian Fleury as their new offensive coordinator to replace Clint Kubiak after he took the Raiders head coaching job. The Las Vegas Raiders have also hired Seattle Seahawks quarterbacks coach Andrew Janocko as offensive coordinator. The team announced yesterday Janocko has been with Kubiak the last few stops. Janocko was also a finalist for the OC job in Seattle. Some sad news to pass along. Trey Johnson, a former NFL standout offensive lineman with Washington, who went on to become a Maryland high school history teacher, passed away yesterday. He was 54. In the golf world, Colin Morikawa won the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, snapping his 28-month winless streak. And over in LIV, Anthony Kim won LIV Golf Adelaide on Sunday for his first victory in nearly 16 years. It caps off a remarkable career comeback with a closing 9 under 63 for a 3-shot margin. The 40-year-old American stepped away from competitive golf for 12 years when he struggled with drug and alcohol abuse. Now he needed to play a qualifying tournament last month just to get another season on the LIV Tour, and now Anthony Kim wins. Is there trouble brewing in Philly? Ahead of spring training down in Clearwater, Florida, Philadelphia Phillies first baseman Bryce Harper said Sunday, quote, "It's kind of wild to me still that President of Baseball Operations Dave Dombrowski suggested in October that the 2-time National League MVP may no longer be an elite player." Over with the Atlanta Braves, the rotation took another hit yesterday when manager Walt Weiss said right-hander Hurston Waldrep may need surgery to remove, quote, loose bodies found in his arm. Waldrep complained of discomfort after throwing batting practice. Weiss said an MRI showed no ligament damage, but the team is waiting to learn more after Waldrep has additional tests. And in college basketball news, Kansas State fired men's basketball coach Jerome Tang for cause, the school said last night. The last place Wildcats have only one win in the Big 12 this season, and Tang, who is in his 4th season as the head man, lashed out at his players following a blowout home loss to Cincinnati on Wednesday. The basis for the for-cause firing, sources told ESPN, is language in Tang's contract that references any activity that brings, quote, public disrepute, embarrassment, or ridicule to Kansas State. So that's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports. I am fascinated to see how Tang v. K-State is going to unfold over the next couple of weeks.
I think that's pretty clear cut.
You think Tang?
I think if that language is in the contract, it's pretty clear cut.
I feel like that's hard to, it's both hard to prove and disprove. But he didn't say anything bad. He just said his players don't deserve to wear the Kansas State uniform because of a horrible showing.
He definitely got ridiculed and brought shame and dishonor to the program.
Yeah, you know who else brought dishonor to the program? The players.
Yeah, exactly. But they're not under contract.
Yet.
Yeah, no.
Yet. Oh, I think we're gonna see this one get drawn out in court a little.
Also,
bit.
You buried the lead too, man. There was definitely football going on. Did you not see St. John's versus Providence? That wasn't a basketball game.
Oh my goodness,
it wasn't a basketball game. That was too much for
over
even
in college football news. Yeah. 2 schools that don't offer football have a full-on brawl.
That was too much even for the 80s. They're ridiculous.
Providence. Oh, Providence.
Seriously.
Oh, St. John's.
No, I'm pro St. John's. I love
Slick Rick. You love Slick Rick.
Yeah, Slick Rick's my guy. But seriously, when you're going up for a layup, I don't know if you've seen the picture.
That was disgusting.
Yeah, he literally just pulled him down by his neck. Again, too much even for the 80s.
That's I don't know how to that was so egregious. The kid should be suspended for at least a game.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be. But that was bad. That was bad. You cannot let that happen. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We've got Chris on line 1. Good morning, Chris. How are we doing?
Hey, guys. Speaking of college hoops, my Who's rolling again this weekend.
Are we ready to say Final Four, or are we still content with a Sweet 16, Elite 8 hot take?
Jack, my mind wants to say Final Four, but my heart is telling me after watching these last 2 weeks, we're playing too close to the vest. Too many comeback wins or at the last minute wins.
Yeah.
And I still see a little bit of a hole in our defense. We're still letting one guy on the other team score over 20 points and almost beating us. So
Chris, can I give you exhibit A of the other side of what you're talking about? And that would be Arizona going through a tough stretch on their schedule and dropping 2 in a row. This is the time where these close games are usually losses for good teams. And you guys are finding a way to overcome it. I feel like you're getting a little ungrateful, man. It's tough in February for basketball.
I feel like I understand where you're coming from, Chris. I get it as a fan. It's hard to see outside the fandom. But here's from 2 unbiased people who just enjoy college basketball. UVA is going to be a tough out in March Madness.
Yeah, I think they're playing good ball. I thought the game against Ohio State was a game definitely set up for them to lose in that position, and they overcame a lot of adversity, didn't have the greatest shooting game. I do see your concerns on defense, but I think that's something that can get addressed in the next month.
I also think, Chris, that when you allow one player to get 20, that's actually the defensive game plan. You're saying we're not letting 4 of the guys beat us. We're saying your one guy has to beat us, and you're shutting down everyone else, and it's resulted in them winning. Now, is it a frustrating way to watch a basketball game? 1,000%. But I think that might actually be part of the game plan.
Now, look, wouldn't recommend that against Boozer, Wilson.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out in the ACC championship. But what's up, Chris? How you doing?
Doing good. So let me counter that really quick.
Please.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I think as a diehard UVA fan, I did not think we were going to have this kind of year. And Ryan Odom has overachieved. I think Virginia, we have overachieved. If you would have told me at the start of after the Ron Sanchez season when hiring Ryan Odom that we would be 22-3 and possibly having a 3 seed in the NCAA March Madness bracket, I'd ask you, could I have a sip of that drink? Because look, we've done good. And even if we, no matter what happens, it was still a good year. But and then, division games are always tough, but we're not beating Duke, Clemson, and North Carolina at the last minute. We're beating Notre Dame and Boston College. And so, it's just a little bit concerning because those are the kind of games that will bite you in March when you're playing that close to the vest all the time.
Fair. I will say you're getting the wins, though. You are getting the wins. You could be UNC and have dropped 2 games against Stanford and Cal.
But other than that, I like what I see. And as long as Tech keeps losing, it's a good day.
That is the truth. Chris, appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your Monday. Something I always love, Alan, is getting a diehard Who's fan to argue against his own team.
Nah,
that's what we do here.
I am so like that about VCU basketball, Atlanta Braves, the San Francisco 49ers, any team I cheer for. I'm with you, Chris, but also college basketball is tough in February. It really is. I don't know what happens. I don't know what goes on in the landscape, but there are so many upsets in February.
Bob brought this up. Bob was talking about this. I think it was on the Thursday edition of the Sports Huddle, where he said February of college basketball is similar to the dog days of summer in baseball, where you've lost the allure, the shine of the start of conference season. It's no longer the shine of non-conference. You're in like the final push of the regular season, and you're just trying to get through it. Your eyes are set on the conference championship. These are the games that are extremely tough to win.
Yeah, and they took a neutral site game.
And they won 70-66 against Ohio State. I mean, yeah, some of their wins you'd like to be a little bit more dominant, like the Boston College win and then the Pitt win. I think a Pitt win was a 20-point win, but your offense struggled a little bit, scoring only 67. Florida State, tough, but that was a road game. I mean, would you like to have the triple OT loss to Virginia Tech back? Yes. But I think UVA is in a prime spot. I'm still pretty bullish on them. I feel pretty good because despite the struggles as of late, they still actually are one of the best defensive teams in the entire nation. They rank 17th in the nation in defensive efficiency, 3rd in ACC play, and they're holding teams to 44.9% effective field goal percentage in ACC play. So they're still playing excellent defense, and you've still got one of the best players in the ACC in DeRitter. So I think they are fine. I'm bullish on UVA entering March Madness. We did get another text in. An additional headline for the sports update: American Sweetheart Football Club, Wrexham, pulled out a win in the FA Cup and are in the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time since 1997. The Cinderella team plays today Macclesfield, who are 5th tier and classified as non-professional in the FA Cup. Good for them. Good for Wrexham.
No, seriously.
Wrexham has, because of the large cash infusion, which I'm not anti. I think that is absolutely fantastic for the city of Wrexham, for everything.
Brian Reynolds.
Helped to end Rob McElhenney.
Yeah.
But I think they have gone up in division every single year except for the first year of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's ownership. So good for them.
If you got owners that care, it could change a lot of things in any sport.
There was another guy I was talking to. He runs a sports betting startup, and he moved to Cyprus, and he bought a 5th tier team to try and do the same thing. And he was like, Cyprus is so cheap. He goes, I walked into the locker room though, and I realized it may have been a bad investment because my team was all smoking cigarettes and drinking beer at halftime. He goes, I thought people just made that up. He was like, oh no.
He bought the replacements.
Tough break for him. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside. The NFLPA and the NFL made a ruling that is going to shake up the offseason in a major way. We'll break that down. Coming up next on Fitz the Bill.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
West Cary Sports Bar is the perfect spot to catch a VCU Rams game, college basketball, soccer, NBA, or the Winter Olympic Games. Robinson and Cary Street in the Fan. Online at WestCarySportsBar.com.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth. Everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction. One day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Digging for underground projects? Call 811 before you dig. Hitting underground lines can cost you time and money and threaten public safety. Call 811. Not only is it the smart thing to do, it's also the law. Making you aware, keeping you safe. Richmond Gas Works Natural Gas Safety Awareness Program. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-960-3377. That's 800-960-3377. 800-960-3377.
1061 ESPN Traffic.
We're stop and go on 64 heading eastbound due to an accident. 2 right lanes are blocked from Rockville to Route 288. We have another accident. 2 right lanes are blocked on 95 heading northbound from Chester to Route 288. On 95 heading the other direction, southbound, watch for a wreck. 2 right lanes are blocked from Ashland to Lewiston Road. And we have accidents causing lighter delays on Branders Bridge Road at White House, another on Forest Avenue at Glenside Drive. And we've got a wreck on West Broad Street at Dominion Boulevard.
Looking to grow your local business? Let's team up. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fitz the Bill on ESPN Richmond. Together, we can craft on-air campaigns that drive customers right through your doors. Ready to collaborate? Email me, jack.fitzpatrick@summitmediacorp.com.
You know, if we were to power rank Tom Cruise movies, I think Days of Thunder easily comes in at number 1. Number 2 is Jerry Maguire. And then from there, put them however you want. But that's 1 and 2 for Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah, I think Top Gun
You're
got
thinking hard
because Top Gun got the bump on the second one.
Yeah, but
I like the original Top Gun.
Top Gun original one
Yeah.
was good.
And
Man, there's something about Days of Thunder.
there's Top Gun gets a lot of pushes. They get a push for having a second movie, and they get a push from Archer for the Danger Zone thing. Like it was already in everybody's mind.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
But Days of Thunder needs more respect. I've heard rumors that Days of Thunder 2 is coming. So
I'm sure he'll be in it.
Well, yeah, of course. He's 68, but he looks like he's 42. And he's still doing all of his own stunts. I actually don't know if Tom Cruise is 68. I feel Tom Cruise has got to be in his 60s, right?
Yeah, he's
Tom Cruise. I'm going to guess Tom Cruise is 61.
He's 63.
Oh, split the difference.
Yeah, but I was going to say he's definitely in his 60s.
Yeah, he's been doing it.
Looks good, man.
He looks real good. Hey, that Scientology. I shouldn't say that word.
I'm not moving like that in my 60s. I'm not moving like that in my 40s.
I'm not moving like that, period. So I don't know if you heard this news, Alan.
I did.
The NFL and the NFLPA maybe, and this is another reason why the NFLPA is the worst players union of all player unions. So the NFL and the NFLPA, after an arbitrator came together to rule on this, they've made one of the biggest, most impactful decisions of, I'd argue, the last, in the Super Bowl era, maybe. No more report cards. No more report cards. Bunch of thin-skinned billionaire owners. I blame the Arizona Cardinals and Michael Bidwell and what they're doing because they were mad that they kept getting Fs. So the NFLPA since 2023 has been running these report cards where players anonymously submit their rankings of how, a team's facility is, their childcare, food, coaches, training room, everything. They grade it on an A to F scale through it all. And then the NFLPA compiles it, averages them out, and each team gets a report card of how they see it. Players can also put in anonymous quotes, anonymous statements, and then the NFLPA can release those as well. And the NFL did not like it. And an arbitrator found that the report cards actually violated the collective bargaining agreement by, quote, disparaging NFL clubs and individuals. Then the NFLPA, the weakest players union in all of American sports, said in a statement, it will continue to conduct the surveys even if the reports can't be made public. So you know what we're going towards in a very fast way? We are going towards, sources indicate that the Cardinals got Fs. And I'm actually really bummed about this because I love the report cards.
Yeah, I mean, the report cards just hold the guys accountable, man. Like, there's a story. My friend tells it all the time, and I hate it, but he
so I'm going to quote it on the radio.
No, because it needs to be said. When Marvin Lewis took over the Bengals, there was a time where they didn't have, like, individual jock straps, apparently. And he had to get that, like, taken care of. Like, guys just had to, like, get it washed and reuse it. We're talking about $1 billion, like, league and millions of dollars invested in the players, et cetera, et cetera. And we can't get something as simple as, like, individual jock straps. And this was probably about 15, 20 years ago. And then you hear about the food that they're served. And we're talking about top tier 1% athletes getting, like, trashed
like
for nutrition.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, like, what are we?
I think it may have been the Bengals. It was probably it was either the Bengals or another poverty team. But there was a clip from Hard Knocks that surfaced from like 15 years ago. And as the players are checking into training camp, the person checking in is like, oh, would you like a TV? And the players are like, heck yeah, we want a TV. And they're like, all right, that'll be $250 to rent it for the week. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
You charge us for TVs?
That's crazy.
And they're like, bro, last team I was at just gave us a 48-inch plasma. Like, what do you mean you're giving? And they're like, sorry, that's what we do here. And like, that's crazy. And players should be aware of that. Yeah. And of course it circulates inside, but like, we're able to judge the players for seeing what they do on the field as fans, right? Like, we are essentially every single day, every single Monday, we're giving out grades. Jackson Smith and Jigba was an A+ this year. You know what I mean? Like, we're seeing that live. Why can't we be privy to what the inner workings of a team facility is like when we're paying all this money for blah, 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 blah? Like, we should be privy to if an owner's cheap and poor, and emphasis on cheap, like, I should be able to know that. Like, I don't want to, like, thankfully the Seahawks aren't that way. The 49ers aren't that way, our two teams. But like, the Cardinals are notoriously known for being the cheapest franchise, where they charge for childcare on Sundays. They charge for food. If you want dinner, they don't provide that, and you have to pay like an extra $50 or something for dinner.
So my question would be, where's the money going? Is it going to our salary cap, or is it just going back into the pockets?
The way that they're doing all that huge salary cap bump, yeah, they might start cutting even more corners now that it's not going to be made public.
But I've always thought it was ridiculous that college facilities are better than NFL
some NFL facilities. Yeah. I mean, not even some. Yeah, you're right. Like LSU,
like at the very top. Oh yeah, LSU.
If you come in from LSU, Alabama, any SEC or Big Ten school, odds are your team facility is going to be worse.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's
except for the Seahawks. Have you seen the Seahawks team facility?
Yeah.
It's on the water.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Nice. But I just don't understand.
Not next to a substation.
I don't understand. Oh, see, that wasn't necessary. I don't understand why they're making such a big deal about it, though, other than accountability. We need more accountability.
I don't get why the owners were so mad. Exactly. Like, why'd they take this to an arbitrator?
Yeah. And if anything, the ones who are doing it the right way should be more upset at the one. Like, I hate to bring them up, but Jerry Jones has pretty good facilities.
Yeah.
I would be hot if I'm like, dude, Cardinals, you're making me look bad. Like, you're making my product look bad.
It is funny because like the top of the top owners, like Jerry Jones, and I'm trying to think, 49ers, Jed York, like they've got good facilities outside of the substation, of course.
Yeah.
But like, you want that to be known because this is a draw for free agents. Like, you come here, we're giving you this, and this, like all this stuff. Like, oh, sure, taxes in California are higher than anywhere else, but you're also getting all of this extra stuff that you're not getting when you go play for the Dolphins, that you're not getting when you go play for the Bengals. And so for Jerry Joneses of the world, the high-end owners of the world, they got to be upset that this is happening because like this was a good recruiting tool they could use.
Free childcare everywhere but Ole Miss.
Chill. I can't believe that some NFL teams charge for childcare.
I can't either. And shout out to the Commanders because they do a great job of taking care of their their players' families and kids, man. Like I see it all the time when we're leaving, and they all look so happy. Nobody's crying or anybody upset. So that goes a long way, man, to making people comfortable.
That, and like it's also crazy how you can see an owner impact that. Where like the last year of Snyder, the Commanders were like all Fs or Ds. And then year one of Harris, they all jumped to like B's, C's, and A's. And you're like, wow, an owner has that much of an impact directly to everything that's going on within the walls of the facility. And you're like, why does this team stink? I can point to probably one specific person, and it's the guy at the very top. Why do the Cardinals stink every single year? Because Michael Bidwell is a cheap owner, and he'll never really invest. Why do the Bengals kind of stink every year? Because the Brown family is not very good, and they're the poorest group. Them and who else is it?
Was it
Jerry Jones? Low key poor too.
Who was telling the story on the Bengals where like they couldn't even get comp tickets, like they had to pay for their tickets?
That's right. Who?
And it was like one of their Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
Boomer Esiason, I think actually.
That's what. Yeah,
he had to pay for his ticket.
You know, league MVP. Yeah, like one of the all-time greats,
franchise player,
arguably your best player in franchise history until Burrow stepped foot into the building.
That's embarrassing.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside. We've got some news or snooze coming up on the other side of the break. It's going to be a wide-ranging version of news or snooze on this Monday morning. Stay with us. You're listening to Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Bonaire Shell is family owned and operated and has been serving the Richmond community for over 20 years. At Bonaire Shell, you'll find old school service with modern day technology, and our certified technicians will get you back on the road in no time. Stop by for a quick fill up, shop for new tires, ask us about a check engine light, or let us help with any of your auto service needs. Find us at 8762 Huguenot Road near the historic Bonaire section of Southside and online at bonaireshell.com.
Your trash is treasure at CNC Colored Recycling. From copper wire to radiator ends, cans to lead batteries, CNC Colored Recycling will pay cash or check for your unwanted scrap metal. No load is too large or too small. Don't dump it, recycle it, and get paid at CNC Colored Recycling. Just south of Maple Street on Route 1 in Ashland. Free local container service is available too. CNC Colored Recycling. Open every weekday and a half day on Saturday. Check the latest cash scrap prices online right now at cccullet.com. That's CCCULLET.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and the Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Get the latest update on Henrico County sports tournaments, happenings, and future events on ESPN Richmond's newest segment, the Henrico Huddle. Join Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority Executive Director Dennis Bickmeyer as he joins Bob Black on the Sports Huddle. For more information on Henrico Sports and Event Center calendar, visit online at henricosea.com or tune in to the last Wednesday of each month for the Henrico Huddle on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George, licensed attorney in Virginia, is responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This is the most embarrassing moment the NFL has had in years. The voters have decided that the greatest coach in the history of this sport is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's a disgrace. There are other people in the Hall of Fame that should be taken out as a result of this. No coach can ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer ever again.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Hi, Leif Erickson for SnowCountry.com. Bring your blueprints to the Lowe's Pro Desk and get help streamlining the estimating process. Then when your order's ready, Lowe's delivers to the job site. For President's Day, you couldn't ask for more, especially coming off what's been a very long, cold winter. Nice, comfortable, and dare we even say warm temperatures at the mountains today, meaning for some nice softening snow as we go throughout. You might want that extra coat of wax on the skis just in case. It's a little touch of spring in mid-February. 22 runs ready to roll at Massanutten, where they ski until 9 this evening, plus their tubing park loaded up with 12 fast, fun lanes. Bryce Resort with 12 trails at 100% open. They'll cruise till 4:30 today, and the Homestead open on half a dozen runs. They ski special holiday hours from 9 to 4:30 for this Monday. Wintergreen, all 27 trails and parks. Wisp, Maryland, 27 trails with spectacular views of Deep Creek Lake. Snowshoe, West Virginia, 58 runs, nearly everything open. I'm Leif Erickson for 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
106.1 ESPN weather.
More stop and go due to an accident on 64 heading eastbound. Two right lanes are blocked from Rockville to Route 288. Watch for another wreck on 95 heading northbound from Chester to Route 288. Two right lanes are blocked. Heading the other direction southbound on 95. We've got a wreck. Two right lanes are blocked from Ashland to Lewiston Road. And watch for wreck causing lighter delays on Forest Avenue at Glenside.
News or snooze.
News or snooze coming in with NASCAR. Tyler Reddick wins Daytona 500 for 2311 Racing Team.
Newsworthy. Newsworthy because it's Reddick's first win of the Daytona 500. Newsworthy because he becomes one of just now 4 people to have ever won the Daytona 500 while leading just one lap, the final one. And newsworthy because, and maybe the most newsworthy of them all, 2311 was just locked into an absolute fight with NASCAR over the last calendar year, really pushing them on a lot of things. They went to court. They had multiple hearings of court, and it ends up being settled right there in the 11th hour. And 2311 is the team that's been the thorn in NASCAR's side for the last 12 months. And now following the settlement, following all of that, 2311 becomes the team to win the Daytona 500, the most prestigious race on the NASCAR calendar. Kind of cool full circle moment there. That is really, really newsworthy. And Reddick just came out of nowhere. It was an electric race, final lap. Reddick was, I want to say he was outside top 10 when they went back under green following the caution, races his way through, takes advantage of a couple of wrecks in front of him, takes advantage of a wreck right before the start finish line, and he comes out on top. And personally, I was a little bummed Michael McDowell was in the lead heading into that white lap. I thought our boy Travis Peterson had gambled his way to a win, but it just was not enough. And congratulations to Tyler Reddick. But Travis Peterson, I'm bummed I didn't ask him about this. They did, I don't know how they did it. They got lucky. Travis Peterson, the crew chief for Michael McDowell, he was on our show on Friday, our last segment of the week last week, ahead of the Daytona 500. He kept Michael McDowell out in ultra fuel saving mode. This guy, McDowell, should have only been able to go 45 to 60 laps with before he had to go into refuel. He was hovering around like 65, 70 before he ended up wrecking. And because of his crew chief's gamble, he was in the lead going to get the white flag. And then his own teammate kind of goes in front of him, and there was a wreck that caught up Michael McDowell at the front of the pack. And real bummer for him to lose it that way. But I was bummed for Peterson. I was bummed for McDowell because they had seemingly played their cards perfectly, but get caught up in a late wreck that tends to happen at Daytona.
Team Jordan was doing pretty good, right? Bubba Wallace had a
very good day. Bubba was also in line to potentially win, but Bubba had to kind of check up, got hit back a couple of spots, and ended up finishing outside the top 5. He was positioned to be a top 5 finisher. But yeah, 2311 had themselves a really good day. They weren't really near the front for most of it, but they were near the front when it mattered the most, which was really impressive. And yeah, I mean they got a big win after the off season they had.
I'm only laughing because I know you're holding it together because you keep replaying that you were almost. You got to tell people like what you had going on for
McDowell.
Yeah, for McDowell.
I had a $5 bet to win $250.
That's a good hit, man.
I know it is. I'm pretty, not to toot my own horn, but like I'm pretty good at betting NASCAR because it's one of the spray and pray. It's like golf, right?
Yeah.
You put out a lot of winners, and this is why Scheffler has ruined PGA Tour betting.
I agree.
Because you can't do it with Scheffler. But like for NASCAR, I had 6 bets out for the winner. And if any of them had hit, I would have profited pretty well on the day. McDowell was my longest shot. And so when I saw him take the white flag, I was like, man, I was also bummed for Travis, and I was bummed for McDowell. Friend of mine's the head of PR for Michael McDowell, so it would have been great for him too. But I was like, when I saw that white flag and McDowell took it, I was like, oh, but we may have some steak dinner tonight. This might be pretty good. And
Duly invested.
And then it just it was tough.
All right, Chris, here you go. UVA baseball starts Pollard era with 69 runs scored in opening weekend sweep.
This is newsworthy. That's a lot of runs, man.
As a Braves fan, can I get at least 15 of those?
Yeah, new head coach steps in. What do they do in their first 3 games? Not only do they go 3-0, they score 69 runs over opening weekend, scored 25-10. They got a win in game 1 of the doubleheader, then 31-8 in the second game of the doubleheader. That is the most runs in a game since UVA beat Niagara in 2007, 29-2. Wow. That's not much more to add. That just needed to be noted.
Yeah, that's
69 runs in 3 games. And now they've got VMI coming to town for a midweek clash. And look, if their bats stay hot, they might be scoring over 100 runs in the first 4 games of the season. That's insane.
That's such a long day.
And you're telling me.
For the starting pitcher, man. I mean, you probably obviously excited you got the run support, but you're never getting back out there.
Yeah. You're watching that 3rd inning and you're like, oh man. You guys keep hitting. I'm done for the day. The craziest part, like in baseball, a doubleheader, typically your second game is when you see like weird upsets happen because the team's tired. It's weird. You're playing your second game in the same day. And to score 31 runs after you scored 25, man, I know UVA's batters are hurting today because of the amount of times they had to swing that bat.
They're definitely sore. Were they playing in Colorado?
Charlottesville, also known as the Colorado of the East.
Yeah. Team Stars prevails in competitive debut for new All-Star game.
There's a soundbite that goes along with this because Anthony Edwards. Yeah, it's newsworthy. I forgot to say that because I was so focused on what Anthony Edwards said after the game. Anthony Edwards, give this man the mic every single game. I've got it. This is what Anthony Edwards said after the Team Stars won the new All-Star game.
I mean, it means a lot. You know, those guys paved the way for us. You know what I'm saying? Bron, Steph, KD, Kawhi, all those guys. You know, and all we trying to do is repay it by, giving them belt.
We're just trying to repay them by giving them belt.
But seriously, this is
BTA, man, BTA.
This is where I just take such an offense to it. Not that, like, I'm happy that Ant's like this, but man, where's the old heads that's just trying to like shut them up? It's almost like they just concede. Like, yeah, you guys got it, young guy. Like, man, no way. All this trash he's talking. It'd be one thing if he was like a humble young guy. Like,
no, look, and I know there's some other things around Anthony Edwards that sometimes does not allow the NBA to use him as the face of their league.
Yeah, they can't.
But they need to. They need to. They need to have a sit down with Anthony Edwards and his 50 baby mamas and figure out how we're going to address this moving forward.
They can't clean that up, man.
You got to try. David Sternwood.
There was something else he did on Twitter too. That was kind of crazy.
Was there also? I didn't see that.
It was kind of great, but he had a couple moments this weekend. Some good sound bites. The one where somebody like told him he got voted like top 7 or something like that for like most handsome player.
Oh no,
or something like that.
What did he say?
Well, he was confused at first, and then they explained it. He was like, "Oh, my old lady ain't gonna like that." And
I got a couple other things.
You can tell he's about to say something crazy, and I think somebody from off camera was like,
"Hey, got it." But the fact that he said we're trying to respect these old heads that paved the way by giving them belt is one of the craziest post-game sound bites.
It's the process. You should push the old heads out.
Yeah, and he is pushing them out.
Yeah,
the fact that he has made it to back-to-back Western Conference Finals with the Minnesota Timberwolves with Julius Randle, who's balling in Skechers as his number 2, wildly impressive.
Got called out on the broadcast for that too.
Did he really?
Yeah,
probably by Obama. You see, Obama was sitting courtside.
It was somebody else that was balling in Skechers, and then I think Reggie or somebody brought up the fact that I think Chris Webber was the one who said something about him being in Skechers. And then they were talking about all the new athletes are pretty much in Skechers.
It's crazy. That's crazy. The Skechers is so much bad
Times
PR.
they are changing.
Ain't that the truth? But like with Anthony Edwards, he did say something along the lines in like the first part of his answer that he was just like, people don't really see me a lot. They may just see like highlight dunks because they're not really watching Minnesota. And he's not wrong. People aren't watching Minnesota, and yet he is still, and that's why he doesn't get the recognition I think he deserves.
Well, I think
if he was in LA, if he was in Miami, Boston, heck, DC, if he was in a bigger market, he would be the face of the league.
But I think some of that is not true because the moments where he's shined brightest have been when he's around those guys. So
yeah,
the All-Star game,
it's just
the
not
Olympics,
it's not often enough.
It could always he could always get more.
There's big rumblings around the league that might help Anthony Edwards.
What?
Have you heard the rumblings that they might be adding an expansion team?
Oh yeah,
this offseason?
I did hear about the expansion team.
Either Vegas or Seattle.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, that will add an extra team to the Western Conference, and they would need to take a Western Conference team and put them to the Eastern Conference. One of the teams being floated would be the Minnesota Timberwolves because of their proximity to Chicago and some of the other Northern Eastern teams.
That makes sense.
And if he's in the Eastern Conference, that's not fair. They automatically get the biggest star. Like they automatically take over that number 1 spot for the biggest and most polarizing star.
Yeah, no,
that could be huge for his career.
That would be great for him, great for his marketing. But also I still think as long as he continues to establish himself as like essentially the next alpha, I think he's doing a good job. Again, he
taking it to belt.
This is the moment, right? You got every big name there. You're going against KD, LeBron, Steph's on the bench over there, but like it's your moment to shine. You took it to Wemby. Now you're taking it to LeBron. You are once again establishing you are the best player in the NBA right now.
Yeah. Let's get a quick break in here. Step aside. Talk a little bit about the Valentine's Day showdown that was in the Robins Center between VCU and Richmond. That's coming up right here on 106.1 ESPN.
Richmonders love Pella, Virginia, and it's easy to see why. Pella gives you more, so you can feel confident choosing us for your window and door projects. While other companies may offer just 1 or 2 options, Pella has a full range, wood, vinyl, and fiberglass, so you get quality and customization, not just a quick fix. When you choose Pella, we'll handle everything from order to installation. Right now, get 50% off qualifying installations or 0% APR for 48 months. Find out more at PellaVirginia.com. Some restrictions apply.
The Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Championship returns to the Henrico Sports and Event Center March 4th through the 8th. Get your tickets at Atlantic10.com/tickets to be part of the action. That's Atlantic10.com/tickets, and we'll see you on the court.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We don't wait to react. We lead the conversation.
And what it means next.
The Sports Huddle with Bob and Mac, weekdays 4 to 6.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill here on this Monday morning. We had a Valentine's Day showdown. You could have heard it right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, as we are the official home for all Spiders men's basketball action. But over the weekend, it was a tough 78-67 setback for the Spiders. VCU just continues to rattle off wins. Their 9th straight win. Man, Alan, they weathered a storm in the second half. VCU had built up a pretty comfortable lead, but then Richmond came all the way back, making it 64-62 with about 6 minutes left. But that was as close as they would get. VCU kind of stood strong, pulled away. Shockingly, the combination of Walls and Beagle down low really slowed down Lazar Djokovic. He had just 5 points, but it didn't matter all that much as Terrence Hill, who has just been a baller this season, dropped 20. Nick Lewis, the star freshman from the D.C. area, had 10. Tracy had 14. Ward had 10. A really good just all-around performance from VCU as they've now swept the season series with the Spiders, and they have really dominated this showdown dating back to 2021, the year after COVID. It's 10-2 for VCU.
Yeah, it's obviously the record doesn't look that great, and the result isn't what Richmond wanted. However, I would say, and I know nobody wants to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway, I think VCU got away with one. I really thought Richmond was going to pull that off. They did an amazing job coming back. The adjustments they made to keep Lazard out of his comfort zone. Like, he was getting the ball so far away from the basket, and I just think that threw off the entire rhythm of VCU. And there's a lot of friendly bounces and rolls on that rim for VCU in that game that, honestly, in a game so tightly contested, definitely made a difference. But good teams find a way to win, even when they don't play their best ball.
1,000%. It's kind of going back to what Chris was saying, what we were talking about with Chris in the very first segment of the show, when he was talking about how, UVA is winning these games, but it just doesn't feel that dominant. Kind of feels that way for VCU too. You could go back really to that January 27th game against Richmond, right? At the Siegel Center. VCU had a massive lead. Richmond came all the way back, cutting it to 2 possessions late in that one. VCU weathers the storm. They were down big in the first half to Loyola Chicago. They had to weather another Fordham comeback attempt in the beginning of February. Really dominant performance against Dayton. LaSalle had a late comeback push. Richmond has a late comeback push. VCU, you would like for these wins to be a bit bigger because we could talk about the net, all of that nerd stuff, whatever. Let's face it, the Atlantic 10 is a one-bid league this year. It does not matter what VCU does. All it matters is VCU wins the games, and then at the end of the year, at the A10 tournament, they're winning that as well to make it to the NCAA tournament under first-year head coach Phil Martelli Jr. But at this point in the season, like Bob said, like we said earlier, February are the dog days. It is tough to win games in February. It's tough to win them in the teeth of your conference schedule, and VCU's doing that. Would you have liked a bigger win over the 240th best team in the nation in LaSalle? 1,000%. Would you like a dominant road win against your crosstown rival? 1,000%. But what did you do? You came away with wins. You came away with big wins, and you're doing it in a multitude of ways. Djokovic, who's one of the best big men in the Atlantic 10, he wasn't there for you. He only had 5 points. It was one of his worst offensive games of the season. in large part because of what Walls was doing and what Beagle was doing. And what did VCU do? They answered with getting a 20-point showing from Terrence Hill Jr. Nick Lewis, Jadrian Tracy combined for 24 points. They're finding ways to win. That's all you can ask. We'll keep talking about this game on the other side of the break in hour number 2 because there's a lot of discussion of how this impacts Chris Mooney and the Spiders moving forward. We'll break that down, talk about it more right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
Recently engaged and ready to plan your perfect wedding? Let's make it unforgettable with Classic Party Rentals of Virginia. From gorgeous tents to stylish tables, chairs, linens, and even stages, we've got everything to bring your big day to life. Our expert team makes planning easy and stress-free with personalized consultations and layouts designed just for you. Visit ClassicPartyRentalsVA.com. ClassicPartyRentalsVA.com.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
It's the grand opening of RVA's newest destination, West Gary Sports Bar, located in the heart of the Fan District. A perfect spot to meet your friends, to catch a game on dozens of high-def TVs, enjoy the old-school arcade games, play football, or take a ride in the racing simulator. The chef-inspired menu features classic bar favorites, plus specialty international dishes. Open for lunch and dinner at the corner of Cary and Robinson Street. Stop by today at the new West Gary Sports Bar, online at WestGarySportsBarRVA.com.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.
I kind of like it. I like a hot dude, so.
In your head right now, whoever the hottest dude is in the world is sitting next to you because you're wearing that deodorant. Not me.
Sitting next to you.
Scenario. That's not what I'm trying to do.
This guy in the world, me.
So, like, if I wore hot girl perfume.
What a babe.
Wow.
10 a time.
Oh.
Smalls? Laughing at Smalls. Smalls thinks Smalls is very funny. We are on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPNU. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs, from quick repairs to adjustable coverages, and even payment options. Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Smalls, can you elaborate on that circumstance specifically for you and Courtney to have the discussion? And I will happily sit out just for a minute or two of this, because what an interesting scenario that happened to you with that.
What would you like me to elaborate on, Evan?
Well, what happened? You forgot the deodorant.
Oh, yeah.
This is an interesting thing that I don't think that most people would think, that they become something else because of a deodorant.
So, Courtney, you opened the show talking about how you left some essentials at home and you had to go out and make a quick 10 p.m. run last night to get said essentials. I had something similar at the Super Bowl. So I had my deodorant out because, you get ready to go on the plane. There's certain things that you pack afterwards. I forgot to throw it in the bag after I applied it. So then I get there and I'm like, oh man, I need to go get some deodorant. So I didn't want to buy a full size one because I had a brand new one at home. Trying to be financially responsible here. So I went to get a travel one, and the only option they had.
The second hour of Fitz the Bill is brought to you by Birdie Golf. Tired of paying premium prices for big-name golf balls that overpromise and underdeliver? Step up your game with Birdie Golf. Learn more about a local company at birdiegolf.com. Change out the I's for ones, and you're there. That's V1RD1E golf.com. Birdie Golf.
You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Alan alongside. Appreciate you clocking in and making us part of your Monday morning on 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. Also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch it, just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch the stream live, and you can be part of it by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And of course, you can be part of it the old-fashioned way by calling or texting in 804-327-0888. Call us in on the Radkey Insurance phone line. Head to radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today. Feel free, call in. What are your thoughts following the VCU Richmond game? VCU is now 10-2 against Richmond since COVID, and the rivalry's tough sledding right now for the Spiders. And it was a fantastic game from VCU. They weathered a storm. You could argue, VCU shouldn't have let Richmond come back. They should have just dominated the game from start to finish. They could. And it's also the dog days of college basketball, right? Like, this is going to happen. Richmond, and I know there's probably some listeners out there that are going to be mad when I say this. Richmond's a pretty good basketball team. Richmond's got some guys on that team.
I'll be unapologetic about it. Richmond, the issues that have plagued Richmond this year may have started out Coach Mooney, but the last 3-4 losses I do not place on Coach Mooney. These young men have to perform. Coach Mooney is not the reason why they shot under like 30% in that first half. That wasn't Coach Mooney at all. That was guys just not performing.
And you're going up against a VCU team that allows threes pretty well. Like, they aren't necessarily the best 3-point defense, right? And I think they went 5 of 22 from 3-point land. The Spiders did. You can't let that happen. You got to get a little bit better. And it's a tough loss. And I see a lot of Spiders fans now getting really upset about it. And I get it. You lost another rivalry game in the Capital City Classic. I get it. It's tough to swallow. But, like, I just do not think Chris Mooney is the issue. I know he's been there for a really long time. His record against VCU is not that great. But, like, I fear that Spiders fans are, and it's something I love mentioning, right? The mystery box. You have a boat, but you could have the mystery box. You know what the mystery box could be? Could be a boat. It could also be tickets to a bad comedy club this weekend. Or it could be the greatest thing since sliced bread. It could be any of those things. It's so many different options. So is the devil you know better than the one you don't? I don't know. My takeaway from being, again, an unbiased third party looking in from the outside, you could have more success. That's true. You could also have a lot less success. And for Richmond, I think the focus for the Spiders is on academics. Like, it's on a lot of things that aren't necessarily fully basketball. They want to win in basketball. They're not giving it up. That's not what I'm saying. But Richmond, they aren't fully all in on giving all of the money that the school has to basketball. And I'm not saying VCU's doing that either. But, like, Richmond's okay with where they're at. I truly believe Richmond's okay with where they're at.
I mean, I think they are okay to a point, but then also it comes a time where, and this is speaking as a fan of coaches who are good but not good enough and don't meet the expectations of, like, said fan base, you're gonna hit a wall at some point, right? And so for Richmond, beating VCU is as paramount to their season as winning a conference championship.
Arguably
right?
more,
yeah. So if it's getting to the point where they're not getting that done, And in Coach Mooney's case, unfortunately, he's been here for a very long time. Not unfortunately, but fortunately, he's been here for a very long time. And VCU's had a rotation of coaches, like every 3 years, basically, since he's been here. Every 3 years is a new coach. And so I'm sure he's well aware that he's got to meet the expectations, and there's pressure on him, on the players. But like I said, at the end of the day, some of this, it's got to fall on the guys on the court, man. Like even the adjustments on the court in real time. Go to the basket. If you're shooting poorly, go to the basket. I saw VCU make some adjustments on the court. Lazard can't get to the basket and get in a position. He goes out at the top of the key. He becomes more of a facilitator. They start opening lanes and slashing to the basket, attacking the basket. When they gave up 23 points or something like that, they were up by like 20 points, and Richmond came roaring back. Adjustments were made, and the shots that they took for 3 points were actually shots that guys were just wide open and they couldn't pass up. But the shot selection changed, the tempo changed, their whole mentality changed, and you can put that on Coach because he's an extension of the players. But again, Coach Mooney can only do so much.
Yeah, like shooting sub 50% from inside the arc's just not going to get it done against this VCU team. Shooting sub 25% from three-point land just is not going to get it done. They were settling for a lot of mid-range jumpers outside the paint. They were unable to get it inside. Like things like that just aren't going to get it done for you if you are Richmond. And like Mooney's record against VCU is abysmal. Like that is something that we can all agree on. But at the same time, I'm in the spot of like, as a JMU fan who has gone through some of the worst, JMU was one of the worst Division I men's
You're the
basketball
opposite
teams,
side.
where it's like they got rid of their guy who was Chris Mooney and Matt Brady. I'm going back years now. Chris Mooney and Matt Brady, very similar, where Matt Brady every couple of years is going to have a 20-plus win season, win a couple of CAA games. He makes it to the NCAA tournament once. And the athletic director at the time, Jeff Bourne, says, we want more postseason success. We're going to make the change. And what do? They go out and they hire Lou Rowe. And he is not a great guy, awesome guy, not a good basketball coach, not a good head coach, right? And JMU becomes one of the worst teams in Division I basketball. They make the right hire after firing Lou Rowe after 4 or 5 seasons with Rowe. They make the right hire in Mark Byington, who then, of course, we all know what he does, takes him to March Madness. Everything's amazing. He's now at Vanderbilt having a lot of success. Preston Spradlin comes in for JMU. He's had a little bit of an up and down first 2 years, but who knows what would have happened with Matt Brady if they had just kept with the guy who was consistently winning 15 to 25 games each and every season. Would have made for my college experience being a lot better because I had Lou Rowe for 3 of my 4 years. I think I experienced more than 10 wins in a single season once in my 4 years once in the 3 years with Lou Rowe while I was at school. So like, it's a really tough line to toe. And to toe it, you've got to ask yourself, if you're Richmond, do we fully invest in men's basketball? VCU has the leg up on you because you made this joke off air. VCU, Richmond's undefeated against VCU in football.
The football program probably does take away from basketball in the sense of cost and things like that. But they can't change that.
They can't.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like VCU doesn't have that in their way. So VCU, they made the decision probably a decade and a half ago, maybe 2 decades. We're not doing football. We're putting all of our resources in men's and women's basketball.
That was that battle was made well before I even got to VCU.
But like, it's a battle that was had. It was a battle that they had they had a decision on it, right? Like we are going men's basketball. So VCU has the leg up there already. And then they've got other legs up. They have more of institutional like greatness where they have been going through a new coach every 3 years. And it's expected that you're making it to the NCAA tournament. There's a lot of things there. But this is my long-winded way of saying Richmond had its opportunities to win this game. They just couldn't close it. You trailed by 23 early on in the second half. You can't overcome that. That's tough. And for the Spiders, now you kind of got to lick your wounds and try to see where you go from here because your remaining 5 games, only 1 is against a top 100 Ken Pom team. That's Dayton at home. Look, you beat Mason at home. That's a winnable game. If you can go, am I crazy for saying 3-2 over the final 5? you're not looking great, but you're not looking as bad as it could be in the A10 tournament. You want to get up a seed line or two.
Yeah, well, right now you're in a position where you just want to win.
Yes,
you just want to win. You've got momentum and everything else.
At Davidson will be tough, but you got a home game against St. Bonaventure, a road game against the worst team in the Atlantic 10 in Loyola Chicago, home game against Dayton, and then you finish out the season on the road at Duquesne. Some winnable games in there.
If Coach Mooney had came to the podium and pulled the Danny Green, he would have been fine with me. They are who we thought they were, and we let them off.
You see Doug Gottlieb at the podium?
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? Oh, I live for that.
Gosh.
I live to see Doug Gottlieb crash out.
That was the most aggressive crash out in the world.
He's looking great.
God, he's something. Why'd I get a technical foul?
Trying to diss the Horizon League. Come on, man.
That was
Do your research. Horizon League has some good ball, man.
Yeah, it does, and he shouldn't have taken the job if he hated the Horizon League so much. Go back to hosting your radio show. What a
seriously.
I say yes, I'm hosting a radio show.
Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
But on the VCU side, I mean, VCU, I'm thoroughly impressed with. They've got the nation's 9th longest win streak right now at 9. And you look at their season, they've got a couple more tests, right? They've got their biggest test is a road game at St. Louis on Friday. And then in between then and now, they've got a game at home against George Washington. Those are two solid tests, two good teams in the Atlantic 10. How do they keep things rolling? What they learn, especially for their Friday game against St. Louis, what they learned back at the beginning of January in that 71-62 loss against St. Louis.
I can tell you, sitting courtside and watching St. Louis over the last month, it's not the same team that beat them. They are so much better.
Yeah. St. Louis is like a legit. And
they are scary. Good.
So St. Louis and VCU likely, barring a major upset from one of them, will also then likely meet again in the A10 championship game. But the only way the Atlantic 10 is a 2-bid league is if St. Louis probably, this is likely how it happens. St. Louis wins out, including the game on Friday. St. Louis makes it to the A10 championship game. VCU makes it there, and St. Louis loses to VCU. St. Louis likely would be an at-large. VCU would get the automatic bid.
Yeah, I think St. Louis is the only one that has the chance to get an at-large.
Their net is hovering just about good enough. All of their advanced metrics say they're just about good enough.
And I think they've got the attention of the people who make these decisions too.
But this is when we're going to learn a lot about VCU, because their A10 schedule up to this point has been relatively easy. Their toughest game was the home game against St. Louis, in which they lost. They have not played consecutive top 100 KenPom teams in Atlantic 10 play this entire season. They've got 4 of their 5 remaining against teams inside the top 100 of KenPom. They've got 2 of them within the top, essentially 75 of Ken. This is a tough part of the schedule. It's saved the best for last. We'll see if Phil Martelli Jr. has figured it out. I think he has. He was saying after that Richmond game on January 27th, they went into the year, and I've talked about this before, went into the year being like, we thought we were good individual defenders. We learned that we aren't. We kind of had to adjust our defensive strategy. I think they've settled it nicely there, and it's a huge positive for them that Lazar only had 5 points, but they got a good 44 points out of Terrence Hill Jr., Nick Lewis, and Jadrian Tracy. So they've got a tough test, though, remaining. So good luck, VCU. Good luck. Let's get a quick break in here. We'll step aside. Alan, we've heard about some burners. I think we got to dive into some burners on the other side of this break. Kevin Durant, he is at it again. Someone take this man's phone.
The Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Championship returns to the Henrico Sports and Event Center March 4th through the 8th. Get your tickets at Atlantic10.com/tickets to be part of the action. That's Atlantic10.com/tickets, and we'll see you on the court.
It's the grand opening of RVA's newest destination, West Gary Sports Bar, located in the heart of the Fan District. A perfect spot to meet your friends to catch a game on dozens of high-def TVs, enjoy the old-school arcade games, play football, or take a ride in the racing simulator. The chef-inspired menu features classic bar favorites, plus specialty international dishes. Open for lunch and dinner at the corner of Carey and Robinson Street. Stop by today at the new West Gary Sports Bar, online at westgarysportsbarrva.com.
February
February is famous for presidents' birthdays. Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and believe it or not, mine too. This is Rob Nicholson, president at East Coast Appliance, and we're having a huge President's Day sale to celebrate. Save up to 50% off Virginia's largest in-stock inventory of new appliances, or save even more with up to 75% off our huge scratch and dent inventory. All with same-day, next-day delivery and installation available. It's the President's Day sale at East Coast Appliance. Hey, send me a birthday card. At East Coast Appliance, we used to shop all over town to make sure you were getting the best price. Now we use AI to make the process easier and a whole lot faster. We have electronic price tags on all of our appliances that scan our competitors' prices and then check our prices to make sure we're lower. We take our best price guarantees seriously, and this helps to save our customers time and money. So if you're in the market for a new appliance, just stop by your local East Coast Appliance Superstore and see for yourself. East Coast Appliance, the best price, or it's free.
My name is Christina Martini, and I attended the Mark Patrick seminar. And because of the seminar, I lost over 27 pounds in a course of about 4 months.
Hypnosis only $59.99. Thursday, February 26th at the Comfort Suites at Virginia Center Commons in Glen Allen. Weight loss hypnosis 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking at 8. Or Saturday, February 28th, Hilton Garden Inn in Colonial Heights. Weight loss hypnosis 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com. 1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Lake Lewis is part of Raisin Hill coverage, and every Tuesday he joins Fitz the Bill for insider reports, film breakdowns, and Commanders news. Only on your home for the NFL all season long. 1061 ESPN Richmond.
You looking to give your brand a boost with Logo Company Apparel? You get small town attention, big time quality, from screen printed tees to embroidered polos, custom uniforms to promo items. They handle it all. Fast, local, and with a personal touch. Need anything for your team, swag for an event, or custom apparel that truly represents your brand's vibe? Just call 804-737-4141 or visit them online at logocompanyapparel.com. Logo Company Apparel. Your brand looks its best. KD looking his best right now in the DMs of a lot of random NBA fans across the social media landscape. There's a new Kevin Durant burner out there, folks. I know the All-Star game happened. Shout out Anthony Edwards for saying he's taking the belt to the veterans. I love all of that. But KD stole the show a little bit. KD stole the show with this whole burner controversy. This freaking guy. Of course, it's unconfirmed, but Alan, some group chats came out that included an account at GetHigher77. Well, people are now claiming that at GetHigher77 is actually Kevin Durant, and it is seen that at GetHigher77, which is now private, you cannot see this account. All of it's private. In the messages, this guy is calling the franchise player for the Houston Rockets, Sengun, saying he can't defend or shoot. He compared Devin Booker to a dictator. He complained openly about Jabari Smith. He complained openly about Kyrie Irving. He complained openly about how when KD tried to hold Steph accountable, Steph wouldn't be held accountable during his time in Golden State. A lot of stuff that's coming out.
That makes me think it's a KD burner for sure. Holding Steph accountable. This is the guy that lacks the accountability.
There's a lot that came out with this. Again, I will say this is all unconfirmed, but I know you've got thoughts on this, Alan. Isn't it something that he's always linked to these burners?
Yeah, it's something. He's very active, and he also has a energy to a lot of his posts where you can kind of link it to him if you dig deep enough. The other times that he's been caught using burners is essentially the same way. But I mean, the Sengun thing would be interesting to me. I thought they had great chemistry. I've actually thought that was the Rockets' strength, is that their ability to play together.
I thought so too.
Yeah, Jabari Carter's supposed to be the defensive guy, I think, or at least to mask Sengun's lack of defense. But I didn't even consider. I've never considered him to be a true defensive liability.
We're also playing basketball in the year 2025-26, right? Defense is not the most important thing. You've got to be able to score with the best of them, and Sengun can do that. That's besides the point, right? Like that. It is. Here's the question that I feel like we always throw around with some of these players, though, because you mentioned it. He's been linked to multiple burners in the past, while also being openly adversarial with other fans on his main Twitter account. He's not worried to just go take a jab at someone from his own Twitter account. How does this impact KD's legacy? Like, genuinely, when we look back at Kevin Durant, I think this is part of the notes that we have on him. He was great, but he was a little crazy off the court. He was great, but he never won a championship on his own. He was great, but it feels like there's a lot of buts with Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a lot of buts with Durant just simply on the way that he won his championship. I know it's going to bring up some LeBron conversation, but
I'm ready.
But the losing to the Warriors like he did and then joining the Warriors and winning the championship, even though he played a large role in them winning the championship, is still, I think, left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Yeah.
Like when LeBron switched to, LeBron's never lost to a team and then switched to that team, I don't think.
No.
And I think that it was the optics of that happening. Like if he had joined the Warriors and the Thunder got eliminated in the first round or something like that, I think people would have viewed it differently. But I think, from a historical standpoint, when people look back, that's going to be something that'll be a black mark on him. The nonsense with the burner phone and some of the other stuff he said off the court and on the court, I think fans kind of accept it for what it is. But, I've always questioned his leadership.
I know you have. That's why I'm bringing this up.
and that's just, to me, it's just par and parcel to what I expect from KD. He's a great player, but just not a leader.
He's so exactly. And I think that's why he's been held back at every stop. Like with the Nets, it flamed out. With the Warriors, it even flamed out. With the Rockets, depending on the validity of these burners or not, it could potentially flame out. If the Suns, it flamed out massively. This is a guy, especially with his Nets move and his Suns move, where he has been kind of the A1 guy, or the guy they brought in to be that veteran person to push them over the hump, at least in the case of the Suns. And he just can't do that. He cannot be the A1 guy for a team. He's got to be the second guy, not scoring wise, but in terms of being the locker room presence. If you expect him to be the locker room presence, he's going to let you down each and every day. And he's going to go out and on his burner account, call Sengun a bad player who can't score and can't defend, despite him averaging 21, 9, and 6. 21 points a game for Sengun, 9.4 rebounds, 6.3 assists, plus a block and a 1.5 steals per game. Dude's pretty darn good at basketball.
All right, I might be stirring the pot here, and I'm not trying to do this intentionally, but it's an honest question. All right, let's say careers end tomorrow, right?
Okay.
We already know LeBron's the apex of this generation. That's fine. Steph is second to him, I believe. Would be most people's consideration.
Uh-huh.
I think people default to KD as the third because of his stats.
Okay.
But I would make an argument that Kawhi Leonard should be in front of KD.
Now, that's so tough for me because of Kawhi's lack of availability over the last 5 years.
That would be the only black mark.
But when he was with San Antonio, he was a Finals MVP.
He's Finals MVP,
two-time Finals champion.
Did they beat LeBron in them?
They beat LeBron in one of them.
And then Raptors.
And he knocked off Curry in them.
And he goes to Toronto, and he is the guy in Toronto. But ever since he's joined the Clippers, it's just been kind of like...
Yeah. Ever since he's joined the Clippers, he's been like KD. When he plays, he puts up numbers and stuff, but can't get over the hump.
Yeah, that's tough. That's like, I really think one of your best abilities is your availability.
That's fair.
And he's just not there. Like you look at win shares, which is just a little statistic to kind of try and rationalize how good a player is.
Oh, we know win shares in football.
He's not that high. Kawhi's 15th among active players right now in win share, behind DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, among others. I think in large part because of his lack of availability. But when he's on the court, he is the second best player of this era, I would say.
All right, let's play the if game. If he was healthy, if he had the same amount of health as KD.
This is coming from me.
Yeah.
If he was healthy and if Kawhi was more of a marketable player, Kawhi Leonard would have taken the mantle of greatest player of this generation from LeBron 5-7 years ago. And I don't think that's crazy. LeBron was great in the early 2000s and the 2010s, but I think around the 2018 mark, if Kawhi had been healthy, he could have taken that from him.
He's got the Isaiah Thomas thing. He beats the greats, but he doesn't get enough credit for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got rings over LeBron and Steph, and
but you just are never healthy.
Yeah, and the crazy part is
healthy. We don't.
Unfortunately, Durant got hurt, but he would have had a ring over Durant, Clay, and Steph.
Yeah.
And LeBron. That would have been quite the thing to hang your hat on.
But it is that's a tough place to be for him. Like because of his lack of availability, I just don't think he can be regarded up there. Like I think it's LeBron, Steph, KD.
And that's fair. That's fair.
And right on the outside, knocking on the door. According to win share, James Harden's actually the third best player right now in the NBA.
Yeah, no, I mean Harden, regular season Harden has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a postseason.
That.
And postseason Harden, he's going to be in a tough spot now with Cleveland. A lot of pressure on James Harden and Donovan Mitchell for the Cleveland Cavaliers to make a push here in the second half of the season.
I also view Russell Westbrook with more sympathy.
Well, yeah, he was the one that was treated the worst of that entire OKC blow up.
Yeah, but he had to be. Like, think about it. He's sharing a locker room with Harden and Durant. Think of their personalities. Somebody's got to step up and be the leader.
1000%. And what I'm saying is like, then OKC decided KD doesn't re-sign, Harden gets traded away, and then Westbrook's like the one that's kind of left there. And it's just like, well, Westbrook didn't win enough. And it's like, yeah, in OKC, he was left with peanuts. And then by the time he left OKC, he was out of his prime, and his game just didn't unfortunately translate to being a non-prime player.
For an athletic point guard, I think he had probably one of the best careers, because you think about it, he never had a major injury, and he's developed into some kind of a role player. He always finds a way to be a role player on somebody's team in these last 4 seasons or so.
Yeah, it's so random. You'll be like, oh, that's where he is now.
He's a good energy guy.
He's a great energy guy. All right, let's get a break in here. Step aside. We've got some Olympic stuff to catch you up on, as well as an interesting comment from Derek Carr. We'll have to dive into that right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
February is famous for presidents' birthdays. Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and believe it or not, mine too. This is Rob Nicholson, president at East Coast Appliance, and we're having a huge President's Day sale to celebrate. Save up to 50% off Virginia's largest in-stock inventory of new appliances, or save even more with up to 75% off our huge scratch and dent inventory. All with same-day, next-day delivery and installation available. It's the President's Day sale at East Coast Appliance. Hey, send me a birthday card.
Hey man, you still need help fixing your old refrigerator?
No, I'm all set. I already got a new one.
Really? How'd you get it so fast?
I got a guy. They delivered and installed it the next day. Plus, I got the best price in town.
Still putting off replacing your old appliances? I'm Rob Nicholson, your appliance guy. And at East Coast Appliance, we have the largest in-stock appliance inventory in Virginia, plus a huge selection of new scratch and dent appliances at discounted prices. Visit East Coast Appliance today and get the best price, or it's free.
Check out RVA's new sports destination, West Cary Sports Bar. Stop by to catch a game, arcades, or a classic American bar food menu. Robinson and Cary Street in the Fan. Online at westcarysportsbar.com.
This is advertising material. Hi, this is John from your insurance company. We received your claim, and we're denying your coverage.
They think you'll give up. They're wrong. Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys have made insurance companies pay over $2 billion. It's your turn. They fight while you heal. Over 250,000 clients. Alexander Chenard Trial Attorneys. Call now for a free consultation. 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510.
Get ready for a slam dunk experience as the Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Championship returns to the Henrico Sports and Event Center March 4th through the 8th. Witness the intensity and feel the excitement as 14 teams battle for the title and a shot in the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. Join us for 5 days of nonstop action and unforgettable moments. Get your tickets now at Atlantic10.com/tickets and be part of the championship experience as March Madness comes to Henrico. We'll see you on the court.
WorkZone is the one-stop shop for the hardworking man and woman. When it comes to the biggest selection, WorkZone has it. Over 15 brands of boots and all toe types, even boots for the ladies. WorkZone has jackets in stock for all seasons, from cold weather to lightweight. See why WorkZone will be your first and only stop for the best brands and comfort and workwear. And a gift card from WorkZone is always the perfect gift. Visit WorkZone on Temple Avenue next to the Ford dealership, WorkZoneVA.com, and check them out on Instagram and Facebook.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hey, Richmond, looking for more Fitz the Bill content and behind-the-scenes looks into the show? Well, follow us on Instagram at Fitz the Bill ESPN RBA. You'll get all of the clips, exclusive hot takes, and so much more. Follow us at Fitz the Bill ESPN RBA on Instagram. You see J. Cole's recent album hit #1? I think he's like the 6th guy to have 7 albums go #1.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype behind it. I haven't listened to
it either. I just saw
I need to, like, when I go to Charlotte, I'll listen to it. Not
well, yeah, because you're in Charlotte, you got to listen to J.
because
Cole.
I'm in the car for so long, it makes sense. I don't like to listen to albums like a song here, a song there. I need to listen to it.
When I listened to it the first time.
The whole way through.
I'm going up to the NFL Combine at the end of the month. We'll be up there for a couple of days, me, Lake Lewis Jr., and doing all that. But I'll be driving up to Indianapolis. It's on my playlist because that's a long drive going up there. So I think it's 8 hours, right on the edge of if I should fly or drive. But I'm going to drive. I might bring too much stuff. The Comrex. I won't go too far inside a radio. But J. Cole, good singer. Hot take. J. Cole,
rapper.
Good singer rapper. Good for J. Cole. He really did it for himself. No features.
That's what he does, man.
All right. So someone who else, he just can't get enough of football, apparently. I do want to take a moment and chat a little bit about Derek Carr here, because if you missed it over the weekend, and I also missed the very beginning of all of this, Derek Carr has his own podcast with his brother, David Carr. So, that's must listen.
They're the Wario and Waluigi of the Peyton brothers.
What if I told you
the Manning brothers?
The
Peyton brothers. That's what they are.
What if I told you, though, that this podcast had over 20,000 views on YouTube? That shocked me. However, here we are, Derek Carr doing it with his brother, David Carr. Carr, the Derek variety, retired from the NFL back in May. The Saints said that the quarterback had a labral tear and, quote, significant degenerative changes to his rotator cuff, allowing him to retire. Carr then said on this podcast that he's throwing it the hardest he ever has. His brother was there to back him up. Shocker, his brother's there to defend his brother. But besides the point, Carr did retire with 2 years remaining on his contract.
So any team that's interested in potentially adding Derek Carr would have to first work out a trade with the New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr willing to retire. This is what he said on the great podcast between the two Carr brothers.
So would I do it? Absolutely, I would do it. I told you two things. I'd have to be healthy, and I got to have a chance to win a Super Bowl.
That's two pretty good
obviously,
factors.
That's a tough thing to find. That's hard to do. That's not easy.
You know what's not easy? Him being the quarterback on a Super Bowl winning team.
So he wants to be the backup for the Chiefs.
Well, so that's what it brought me to. Like, here's two questions I have that come out of that. Can Derek Carr even be the starting quarterback on a Super Bowl caliber team? And I say that because I didn't think Sam Darnold could be the quarterback on a Super Bowl winning team. And he proved me wrong 2 Sundays ago when the Seattle Seahawks took belt to the New England Patriots, right? Like, if Sam Darnold can do it, maybe Derek Carr can do it. And Derek Carr at his height was an MVP candidate in this league, but he has struggled with injuries. He does have, according to the Saints, a significant degenerative change to his rotator cuff. That doesn't sound good. Like, there's a lot to it with Derek Carr. So can he even be the quarterback on a Super Bowl caliber team? And secondly, what are his options really? The Kansas City Chiefs as the backup to play until Mahomes comes back. Not terrible. Maybe the Minnesota Vikings. I feel the Vikings are going to be floated for a lot of quarterbacks this offseason because I just do not think that they believe in J.J. McCarthy. Kevin O'Connell was a believer, according to a lot of reports. Kevin O'Connell was a believer in Sam Darnold and wanted to stick with Sam Darnold. Kwesi, their general manager who got fired in the week leading up to the Super Bowl, he was apparently the guy pushing for J.J. McCarthy. And the reason why Kwesi ended up getting fired, there was a lot of the reports around he took paternity leave and the team didn't do it. A lot of reports have come out to dispute that and say, no, the real reason was he decided J.J. McCarthy was the guy, despite KOC wanting to stick with Darnold. And they ended up not re-signing Darnold, going with J.J., and Darnold was in the Super Bowl, and that look just wasn't enough for them to overcome. So I think Minnesota knows J.J. is not the answer. And they know they're going to have to make a move at the quarterback position this offseason. Is it bring back Kirk Cousins? Is it try to trade for Derek Carr? I just don't think Derek Carr, though, has enough gas left in the tank to be a viable NFL starter.
No, I wouldn't even entertain it, honestly. And if your team is picking him up, then, I mean, it's not as bad as Phillip Rivers, but clearly you're not in a position to really compete. So.
It was just also so funny the way he said that. You know, I'm looking for two things. One, am I healthy enough? Two, can I win a Super Bowl with them? And it's like, Derek, do you want to be the starter for them, or where are we feeling with that?
Why do you have a podcast? That's where I'm stuck at.
That is one of the more interesting things. Yeah. But like, not everyone needs a podcast. I say as someone with a podcast on a radio show, but still, man, that very weird stuff from him. All right. Transitioning over. Have you heard the controversy happening in the Olympics?
No.
Canada, man. Canada, they're in the middle of a lot of curling controversy.
Oh, I did see, I saw that somebody got accused of cheating, but I mean, it's Canadians and curling. I'm not going to lie to you. I just dismissed it immediately because I was like, they love curling. It's like their sacred sport. They would never cheat.
They kind of are.
Oh, well,
they're men's and women's.
Are they cheating, or are they doing the NCAA bending of rules that doesn't really constitute as cheating?
I would say so. I don't think it's just accusations right now, and it's between the men's and women's Canadian team, and I believe Sweden has been at the center of it as well. It started with the men's team over the weekend on Friday, where Sweden accused the men's curling team of what is called double touching. So once you let go of the stone, did you come to Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning to learn about the intricacies of curling? Well, you should have. That's why you listen, because if you're looking for sports talk radio, well, we hopefully Fitz the Bill. I lost my own train of thought on my own plug. So you can't touch the stone once you let go of it. So you're push it, you let go, you can't touch it again. Sweden is claiming that Canada lets go of it and then gives it a little tap with their finger to help with the spin of it, to help with it move down the ice. And then there were some swear words being thrown back and forth as the accusations were starting to heat up. Then a day or two later, the women's team got accused of the very same thing. The Swedes believed the men's team was repeatedly double touching some of his stones. This is from BBC. Releasing the handle at the appropriate time, but then giving the stone another little prod with his finger to correct its course, which is against the rules. World Curling later confirmed that decisions made during a game are final, and they do not use video replays to re-umpire decisions. The only sanction given out was to Kennedy of the Canadian team for swearing.
That's a sport after my heart right there. But I mean, all right, so they don't do replays, that's fine. But clearly NBC and everybody else has some form, like we can go on YouTube and look, right?
You kind of saw it and it did kind of look like he double touched.
All right, there you go. That's all we need.
Yeah. But yikes. And keeping it in hockey, the men's team is right now on a collision course with Canada in the hockey side of it all. So good for the men's team.
We can't have fights in the Olympics, right?
No, but there was one.
No, I mean, I was being kind of sarcastic, but like this will be a friendlier game than when it was like USA versus the world or whatever.
Yes, but you cannot fight in hockey at the Olympic level, at the world level. They use different rules. If you fight, you get kicked out for the remainder of the game.
All right, so
again,
I was joking, but wow.
No, yeah, Tom Wilson of Canada, Tom Wilson, a known instigator,
enforcer.
He said, "I don't care about that rule," and he fought in the game yesterday.
That sounds like Tom Wilson.
Wilson, this is from the Associated Press. Wilson dropped the gloves late in Canada's 10-2 rout of France on Sunday, going after the player who delivered a forearm to the head of his teammate Nathan McKinnon minutes earlier. So he did not care. Unlike the NHL, where it's a 5-minute major, fighting is a game misconduct under the IIHF. So the two who got into the fight were ejected. Wilson only missed the last 7 minutes of the game in a game that was all but decided. But Tom Wilson doing Tom Wilson things over there.
So he can come back the next game?
He'll be coming back the next game.
For sure is worth it.
Essentially, he got a major penalty plus 2.
Yeah, plus 2 minutes.
So worth it. But for him, like that was so funny. When I saw that headline come up and it said, Wilson does the rare thing and fights in Olympics, I was like, of course it's Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
Of course this man got so mad he dropped his gloves. He forgot he was playing in the Olympics, not the NHL.
He didn't even forget. He just
didn't care.
Honestly, based on the description, it was worth it. If he took a forearm to the head like his teammate did.
Yeah, that's true.
And an enforcer is an enforcer, no matter what sport they are in or whatever. You know, that's what they're going to do. They're going to protect their teammate.
Precisely.
Stewart? Isaiah Stewart.
Oh my God.
They're gonna enforce.
Yeah, and he's gonna do it again this season. And he's gonna get like a 10 game. What a guy! What a guy! Currently, as it stands now in the different groups, Canada leads Group A 3-0. Finland leads Group B at 2-1, and the USA leads Group C 3-0. On the men's side, on the women's side, the United States a perfect 4-0 in women's ice hockey to lead Group A. And Sweden a perfect 4-0 to lead Group B. And so we will see the Sweden versus United States match, I believe, today at 10:40 a.m. So should be a fun one.
U.S. been starting a little slow, though, in some of these matches.
It is. They are. And then you look up at the score and you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah,
they're out shooting them 20-7, and they're only up 2-0. But hey, so that's your Olympic update. Olympic updates
as long as you win, I guess. Yeah, especially in this stage.
And they pull away late in the third period, and hockey games are long. But Olympic updates you can hear at the top of hour 2 as well. That's brought to you by Radkey Insurance. Head to radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today. We also want to let you guys know that if you're chasing that perfect mix of distance, feel, and control without emptying your wallet, it's time to level up with Birdie Golf Balls. That's spelled B1RD1E. Birdie Golf Balls deliver distance that dominates, right in line with the big name brands you already know. But here's the kicker. You're getting it at a price that actually makes sense. Tour level spin and control. Birdie gives you the precision you need around the greens, the consistency you want off the tee, and the confidence to attack every shot. Don't just play golf, play smarter, play birdie. That's B1RD1E. rd1egolf.com. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside, be back with more Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis. Only $59.99 guaranteed or your money back. Thursday, February 26th, Comfort Suites at Virginia Center Commons in Glen Allen. Weight loss hypnosis 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking 8 p.m. Or Saturday, February 28th, Hilton Garden Inn in Colonial Heights. Weight loss hypnosis 11 a.m. Stop smoking 2 p.m. Come 30 minutes early.
A duo that's perfect together. That's Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, and Lennox. Herman Allen is your local Lennox dealer, and they're committed to making your family's home comfort their top priority. With a wide assortment of Lennox products to offer, Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling will ensure your home's air is perfect for your family. Call today at 804-746-5853 or visit online at hermanallenplumbing.com to learn more about how you can experience expert service and care.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
RVA's famous chicken and hot wild wings, specialty twist pizzas, and classic American bar food featured at West Cary Sports Bar, 2601 West Cary Street in the Fan. Online at westcarysportsbar.com.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Don't worry, Matt Josephs is going to speak his mind anyway.
I'm sure this is going to piss some people off, but I've never been one to hold back.
Don't miss a moment of Border to Border from 3 to 4 on 106.1 ESPN.
Monday. All right, overreaction number 1. Get your overreactions in on the Radke Insurance text line, 804-327-0888. And a call back here to the beginning of the show, because that may have been a little bit of an overreaction. I'm sticking with it. The reason that NASCAR and the NBA do not grow more is because of their own dang fans. I have never seen more miserable fans than in the NASCAR Cup Series and in NBA. The NBA All-Star Game was fun. The round robin style did it. Adam Silver, congratulations. You did something correctly. I'll give you a round of applause. You overhauled it and it worked. It worked in a big way. But NBA fans are mad that it wasn't what it used to be. Blah, what it used to be that they used to hate. Blah, 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 blah. NASCAR fans are mad at the end of the Daytona 500 because for 50 laps in the middle of it all, the 500 miles, for 50 of them, drivers were saving fuel to make for a more interesting end. Look, there's strategy involved. NASCAR's not what it was in 1992. NASCAR has changed. You're not going back to the good old days. Stop focusing on that and making every single race horrible and why it stunk, and start focusing on the positive. And maybe you'll actually see growth in the fans and growth in the sport. That's my overreaction. The reason that NASCAR and NBA aren't growing, because
their fans are holding it back.
Yeah, I agree with you on both sides. Like, you get something going in the right direction. People ask for change. You get change. People get excitement in NASCAR and they still don't like it. So some people just never happy, I guess.
It's such a good finish. And you just look on Twitter and everyone's like, okay, we're saving fuel there in the middle of the race. And it's like, they were doing strategy. Like, what? Yeah. And it ended up being a fantastic finish.
So this is going to be confusing because my overreaction is to the idea. But Jerome Tang is an assault on old school coaching. And I totally disagree with this notion.
Okay.
I stand behind Kansas State. I get there's things that you can say and do as a coach to motivate, and you can keep it real, etc. But at some point you cross the line of unprofessional, and I think he was unprofessional.
You think so? Okay. He did really go after his players. He went after them in a big way following that Cincinnati game. And he just has not been a good coach at the end of the day as well. I mean, he's been there for 4 seasons. That first season, he did a fantastic job. That first game, he did a fantastic job getting him to the Elite Eight. But then since then, they have just struggled in every single way. 8-10 the year after their Elite Eight finish. Even that year they went to the Elite Eight, they were just 11-7 in a Big 12 play. Then 8-10, 9-11, 1-11 now. They're just not very good. And Jerome Tang, he unfortunately, I think, got a little too big for his britches, maybe a little bit. Just think kind of came undone for him there. So, that was definitely tough for him. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We've got Ryan on line 1. Good morning, Ryan. I hear you want to talk a little VC, little Richmond. How you doing on this Monday?
Hey, guys, doing pretty well. Yeah, I'm a Spider, and, I think on the Mooney situation, like the fan base is just exhausted. There's a lot of apathy. People have just checked out, and the program just feels stale all the way around. A lot of empty seats the other night against what should be a rivalry game. Mooney's 9-29 against VCU. Like I don't know how anybody can really defend that. And the fans have just gotten to a point where it's like, we know what's coming. We know what's going to happen. We're going to hear the same excuses. We started the game with no energy, and we're going to work on that. But nothing ever changes. And you look at a guy who's been there for two decades. Like, you don't get to stay at a program at this level for 2 decades unless you are like a legend. And he's not a legend. He's not Tom Izzo. He's not Bill Self. I mean, he's winning at a 55% rate. It's just not good enough. And you mentioned earlier, like, well, who are you going to hire if you fire him? I think that's loser talk. I really do. Like, we had the same issue with the women's program. It was irrelevant for forever. Made a great hire, and now they're dominating the A-10. You look at St. Louis in the men's program, had a terrible coach, fired him, got a good coach. 2 years later, they're a top 25 team. So, a place like Richmond, great facilities, great tradition, people who want to support a winner, who have just left the program. I'm a 40-something guy. All my friends and I used to have season tickets. None of us do now. It's just stale. It's time for a change at some point, and I think we've reached that point.
What do you think the answer is? Do they let go of Mooney and maybe try and go with the younger guy? Like how do they approach this? Because you're right, it's a little bit of a loser talk. Like, right, like you keep them because the devil is better than the one you don't. I just worry that Richmond is more focused on the academic side of it, and they won't necessarily fully invest in a new coach for their next one.
Well, I don't fully disagree with that, but I think we have spent a ton of money to give ourselves everything that Mooney has asked for. We needed a new arena. We upgraded our arena. We needed a practice facility. We gave him a practice facility. We put together an NIL program. It's just not working. And I think, again, like, there's plenty of young up and coming coaches that you could hire. I mean, VCU does it every 3 years. It seems to work out pretty well for them. So I'd rather have a coach that's in demand as opposed to one that nobody wants. If we got rid of Chris Mooney today, is a program at our level or higher going to hire him? Of course not. So, I'd rather have a guy that's moving on every 3 years. It means he's doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same thought process for JMU football, right? Like, I'm fine being that stepping stone school for him and then going on from there. It's a real tough spot because you've got to be willing to make a full investment in it. And with Mooney, things like that, Richmond being a private school, we're not privy to his salary. We don't know what they actually are investing. That's all kind of hidden a little bit. We can't FOIA it, unfortunately, and I'm a big FOIA fan. I will FOIA any contract out there, but unfortunately, we can't do it with Mooney. So, like, there are some questions around it. I get the apathy side of it. I really do, but it's just such a tough spot to be in. And look, if they do move off for Mooney, I think you've got to nail that next hire. You've got to nail it, and that's a hire they haven't made in 20 plus years. So it'll be tough, but I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I get that 100%. Appreciate you calling in, Ryan. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully Richmond can rattle off some wins to finish out the season.
Thank you. We'll see.
You hear it in his voice. I appreciate Ryan calling in because that does kind of change my perspective on it. Hearing that defeatedness in his voice, that's tough. That's a tough spot to be in for a program.
It's somebody had made this comment probably a couple months ago when we were having the same discussion about the Steelers and Tomlin. I think it was our favorite anti-Mooney texter.
They said, like, based on my own things that I have said, we're like doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results is the definition of insanity. The difficult part of it is, like, I just don't know where Richmond's head's at for it. Like, where an NFL team's head is at. They want to win championships. For the Spiders, like, are they fully invested on making sure men's basketball is one of the best teams in the Atlantic 10? If they move off from Mooney, that signifies that they do, and they've got to make the right hire. And there are some good young coaches out there. But, like, how I also view it, if JMU ended up with Chris Mooney as their head coach, I would be happy.
And I will say, too, it is unfortunate if people really checked out. Because, again, the Spiders team, based on what I've seen this season, I don't question their effort. They just can't finish a lot of times. And I don't question Coach Mooney's commitment to trying to turn the program around. I don't think anybody over there has checked out. It's just they're just not good enough in some of these spots. And that's ultimately what has been their downfall. So I wouldn't check out if I was a fan just because of that.
But you kind of look at it. It is tough if you are a fan, it's tough to keep buying into the program who hasn't made the NCAA tournaments in 2022. Your great year in 2024 where you went 15-3 in conference play, you didn't make it into the NCAA tournament. Like, it's tough to continue buying in. I wonder how different things feel if that 2020 season actually happened and they did get a good seed and they maybe went on another little run. The worst thing that happened to Richmond was making that Sweet 16 run the same year VCU goes to the Final Four.
I was going to say, VCU hasn't won an NCAA tournament quite some time either, but nobody's taking their
but they make it.
Yeah,
they make it. And that's the big thing. And they got to try and make it. So big finish to the season for the Richmond Spiders. And I appreciate Ryan for calling in. And I do appreciate hearing the kind of sadness, the apathy in the voice. Does change my opinion just a little bit.
Yeah, Super Bowl winner and all that crap. You JMU football, you've had too much winning to understand where some of us come
look
from.
At my basketball team, man. They stink. It says Preston Spradlin is a defensive menace. The defense is one of the worst in the country.
You disassociated from them, so you wouldn't have to go through that.
I did. You're right. I saw early on, I was like, I don't know if I'm all about that. I've experienced too much winning. And I'm gonna keep it that way. All right, that'll do it for Fitz the Bill this Monday morning. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Keep it locked. We'll be back live and local starting at 4 p.m. with the new Sports Huddle with Bob and Matt. So don't go anywhere. 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.